That isn't the value of a country. It isn't a government spending package. It's the scale of a plan connected to one company. And that company is NVIDIA. Wall Street immediately began asking one question. Why would NVIDIA need $500 billion? Because this isn't a plan to build the infrastructure behind the future of artificial intelligence. Because modern AI is incredibly hungry. Every new model requires more computing power, more processors, becoming much bigger than selling individual chips. This is why $5 billion suddenly starts to... It's helping build an entire leisure, one designed to power the next generation of artificial intelligence.
So where will all that money actually go? Not into one product. It will flow into data centers, cooling, and the AI infrastructure needed to train the next generation of models.
This is where the money will go. Not into a marketing campaign, not into a news. NVIDIA believes the demand for these aiding starting. And this is where the story becomes even more expensive. AI doesn't just consume computing power, it consumes electricity, huge amounts of it. Power is rapidly becoming one of... But NVIDIA's biggest challenge isn't inside its own data centers. It's thousands of miles away. And that's where this story becomes a global technology battle. And one company sits at the center of China's AI strategy. It's thousands of miles away. And that's exactly why this became much bigger than chips alone. But can China's domestic AI chips actually challenge NVIDIA? The answer isn't simple. Huawei is expanding its AI ecosystem. And that's exactly what worries investors. What happens if China builds a powerful AI ecosystem with depending on NVIDIA? And that's where NVIDIA's biggest challenge begins. This is no longer a competition between two companies. It's becoming a competition between two AI ecosystems. On one side, intelligence. NVIDIA believes the answer is yes. The company sees AI infrastructure as the next industrial revolution, and that's why it's supporting one of the biggest technology investments in modern history. Because demand for AI isn't coming from one industry, it's coming from everywhere. Healthcare, finance, manufacturing, cloud computing, beginning. And this is where NVIDIA's biggest challenge begins. Because China isn't waiting, it's building its own AI ecosystem, its own AI chips, its own AI data center. But building a domestic AI ecosystem isn't as simple as replacing one chip with another. It requires processors, software, engineers. Because this is no longer a battle between two products. It's a battle between two ecosystems, one built around NVIDIA's global infrastructure, the other built on China's domestic AI expansion. And this is the question that could define the next decade. If NVIDIA's plans structure as the next industrial revolutions, or will the companies that build the world's AI flagship story? Because artificial intelligence doesn't exist inside a laptop, it exists inside a physical infrastructure built from chips, electricity, networking, cooling, and data centers. Building AI factories isn't cheap. Someone has to finance the chips, someone has to finance the data centers. And that's why NVIDIA is working with some of the world's largest financial institutions. But NVIDIA isn't building this empire without competition. China is investing heavily in its own AI ecosystem. Its companies are expanding AI infrastructure. Its engineers are developing and that's where the story becomes much more complicated. Because this race isn't measured by one company. It's measured by its companies are expanding AI infrastructure. Capital. This may be the biggest shift in the entire AI industry. The next generation of artificial intelligence won't be built inside small laboratories. Because this isn't simply a battle over faster chips, it's a battle over infrastructure. The next generation of intelligence, those questions may determine the next technology power. The next generation of intelligence, those questions preparing for the next product cycle. The next influence the future of the digital economy. Because the companies building billionly simple is surprising. The answer may take years to reveal itself, but one thing is already clear. Imagine the world 5 years from now. Millions of businesses depend on AI, and the companies building that infrastructure become the most powerful companies of the next decade. What if NVIDIA is right? What if AI demand continues growing for the next 5 years? And what if today's AI factories become as essential as the internet itself? But NVIDIA isn't the only player investing in AI infrastructure. China is rapidly expanding its own ecosystem. Its companies are building data centers. But what if this isn't a winner-takes-all race? What if two AI superpowers emerge at the same time, one built around NVIDIA's global infrastructure? Because this race isn't really about today's AI models. It's about the infrastructure will power the next decade, the factories, the chips. And here's the final twist. AI demand may become so large that multiple ecosystems could survive at the same time. The world may not need one AI factory. And here's the biggest twist in this entire story. The biggest winners of the AI may not be the companies building AI models. They may be the companies building the infrastructure. So, will NVIDIA's $500 billion gamble succeed? The truth is that nobody knows. The true thing is becoming impossible economy. 5 years from now, the world could look very different. Artificial intelligence could become part of every industry: healthcare, manufacturing, transportation. And that raises one final question. If artificial intelligence becomes as essential as electricity, who will own the infrastructure behind it? And perhaps that's the biggest lesson hidden inside NVIDIA's $500 billion gamble. Artificial intelligence isn't just a software revolution, it's an infrastructure revolution. The decisions being made today will influence the next generation of artificial intelligence. The factories being built today will train tomorrow's models, and the infrastructure being financed today. Will NVIDIA's $500 billion gamble succeed? Only decided by the software underneath it. And the race to build that infrastructure begun. Will NVIDIA's $500 billion gamble succeed? Only timed by the software alone. And the race to build's only just begun.